Well, tomorrow, people will gather at the Battleship Memorial in Sioux Falls in honor of a naval milestone.
The event will commemorate the 80th anniversary of the commissioning of the USS South Dakota, one of the most decorated battleships of World War II.
In tonight's DIANE Keloland, Perry Groten spoke with organizers of the ceremony about why preserving the history of the battleship is more important now than ever before.
In a landlocked state like South Dakota, there are always a flood of questions from visitors to the Battleship Memorial about this concrete curiosity in the heart of Sioux Falls.
They ask so many questions. First one is the concrete outline outside, is that the real size of the ship? And the answer is yes. And they say, oh, that's big.
Each year, this large landmark attracts visitors from across the United States, but fewer people have stopped by this summer.
I just think it's the fuel prices and the cost of travel. Because last year was one of our best years, and this year is going to be one of our worst.
But attendance will get a boost on Saturday when a ceremony at the memorial honors the commissioning of the USS South Dakota in 1942.
Really significant that it's been 80 years since this ship was commissioned and it joined the Navy and went off to fight World War II.
The South Dakota and its crew saw action in both the Pacific and Atlantic theaters of the war, earning 13 battle stars. It was given the code name Battleship X to keep its identity secret because enemy forces thought they had sunk the ship, only to have the South Dakota help lead the way to an Allied victory.
The South Dakota supported carrier strikes throughout the last year of the war, and in Okinawa and the Philippines and all those invasions. The battleships were there bombing the shore.
The crew members aboard the South Dakota forged close bonds among each other as well as to the ship itself.
One funny story about one of the sailors who joined the South Dakota, he thought that he had been assigned to the South Dakota because he was from South Dakota, and he didn't realize till much later he was a bit too insignificant for that to have made a difference, but he was happy to be on his home state's battleship.
Reunions here at the Battleship Memorial used to take place every year. But as the decades went by, those reunions became more spread out, first every 2 years and now every 3 years, because so few of the original crew members are still alive.
You know, we used to have 300-400 at a reunion, and of course that was 40 years ago, 50 years ago, and things, but now we're down to a handful.
The surviving crewmen of the South Dakota have been invited to Saturday's ceremony, but few are expected to make it.
They're all 96 or better, and so their ability to travel and things is not as good as it used to be, even though they all want to be here.
The South Dakota crewmen would always share their war stories with the public during previous reunions. But as their ranks thin even more in the coming years, it becomes all the more important for the Battleship Memorial and Museum to be that permanent connection to the past, showcasing displays and artifacts so future generations of visitors can still encounter members of the greatest generation. With DIANE Keloland, I'm Perry Groten.
Everyone can attend tomorrow's ceremony, which starts at 10 a.m. at the Battleship Memorial.
Former South Dakota Lieutenant Governor Mac Michaels will be the master of ceremonies. Author and historian Paul Stilwell will be the keynote speaker and will sign copies of his book about the USS South Dakota.